Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Journey to Greatness. Day 342 of 365 with David McDonald, the GOAT. All right, so I'll see you guys on the other side. All right, everybody, welcome back. Al, good morning, brother. So we just finished our meditation routine, and now we're getting into our reading routine. So we'll see you all on the other side. Alrighty, welcome back. So we just finished our reading routine, and now we're getting into our journaling routine. So I will see you all on the other side. Good morning, Miss Minder. Hope you're feeling better over there. All right, my friends. Happy Saturday. So, by the way, if you guys are just getting on the journey to greatness or you're just joining in with me, I'm highly, highly, highly suggesting that you pay attention or you join consistently, um, or not, maybe not even being on here, you go buy this book. Because I'm telling you right now, if you want to figure out how to build wealth, this book gets back to the nitty gritty of the basics. And it is absolutely powerful. So last session that we had, day 340, was simply amazing. I loved all the content. I loved um, all the information, everything that we went over. And learning, the biggest learning note from the last 15 pages that we went over, um, was a part of all you earn is to keep. And that is the simple discipline of making money and then putting away 10%. And so in our last conversation, day 340, we went over that and what it looks like to do that and the two different mindsets you should have: either sacrifice, time, partying, hanging out, being cool, etc., or being a creator, being a creative, creating something that allows you to make 10% more than what your total gross income is, which is your income before your taxes are taken out, and then saving that, doing it for one entire year or more, and then leveraging that, for example, into a property, real estate, is one of the many pillars to build wealth, on top of anything else you choose to do. So, with that being said, we went through a whole plethora of different ideas related to that topic. And now we're getting into the 7 cures for a lean purse, which means we're getting ready to go over 7 key elements in how the richest man in Babylon at this time um, became wealthy. Very good. Here, okay, so I'll just start. Yet it was not always so. So, Babylon was known and had a reputation among the world as being one of the richest cities. Um, but it was not always so. The riches of Babylon were the results of wisdom of its people. They first had to learn how to become wealthy. When the good king Sargon returned to Babylon after defeating his enemies, the Elamites, he was confronted with a serious situation. The royal chancellor explained it to the king thus: after many years of great prosperity brought to our people, because your majesty built the great irrigation canals and the mighty temples of the gods, now that these works are completed, the people seem unable to support themselves. The laborers are without employment. The merchants have few customers. The farmers are unable to sell their produce. The people have not enough gold to buy food. But where has all the gold gone that we spent for these great improvements? Demanded the king. It has found its way, I fear, responded to the chancellor, into the possession of a few very rich men of our city. It filtered through the fingers of most people as quickly as goat's milk goes through the strainer. Now that the stream now that the stream of gold has ceased to flow, most of our people have nothing to show for their earnings. Sound familiar? The king was thoughtful for some time. Then he asked, why should so few men be able to acquire all the gold? Because they know how, replied the chancellor. One may not condemn a man for succeeding because he knows how. Neither may one with justice take away from a man what he has fairly earned, to give to men of less ability. But why, demanded the king, should not all the people learn how to accumulate gold and therefore become themselves rich and prosperous? Pardon me. Um, so then the king had the chancellor. So pretty much I really appreciate this thought because it's not a matter of which, upon the king's return, the chancellor, tells him, hey, pretty much all the people of Babylon are struggling. Um, there are a few people who have figured out how to make money and control things, and so they are monopolizing, and therefore the community, the society is suffering. They don't have any money. They don't know how to keep their money. They don't know how to invest their money. They don't know how to make their parent coin, which was a concept we explored on day 340. They don't know how to make their parent coin make them children, and then have their children coin make their grandchildren. So you have three different tiers or more of income earning activities. And I like this thought because the king sat down, or he thought about it for some time, to say, well, if there are few men who have reached this level of success, how come everyone else isn't able to reach this level of success? I really appreciate that thought because A, he's giving credit to all of society as being the same, and B, and seemingly, I think he's implying that he has faith that society has the ability to be as prosperous. I'm a man, you're a man, she's a woman, I'm a man. We all have the same ability to earn this income, or be prosperous with our gold and our monies. So he thought about this, he asked the question, and then he said, hey, who is the richest man in Babylon? And of course, the chancellor said, well, among the people, and as far as I know, his name is Arkad. So this whole story that we're going over right now, if you're catching up, Arkad is the richest man in Babylon. This book is called The Richest Man in Babylon. Kobe and Bansir are best friends, and they were Kobe, or was it Bansir, had the inspiration to be more. He started having these thoughts, this, that, and the other, and he happened to run into Arkad, and he asked him, hey, you're wealthy, how did you earn your wealth? And so now Arkad is going into his explanation of how he was able to build his wealth and become rich. And then um, Arkad's mentor was Algamesh. So he was briefly mentioned in the beginning of the book. So Arkad is now being brought up again and is summoned by the king. He comes to the king and he says, how may I serve? The king says, hey, you are known, and you are the richest man in Babylon. What I want you to do is I want you to create an education program to help teach the men of the city to earn and be wealthy as you are. And I would like you to, contribute to society in this way. And Arkad said, hey, I'm humbled, and I feel honored to teach the men and the people of this city how to be prosperous with their money, and how to build up, their wealth bag in their purse. And so I think that's very, very honorable. And it's pretty awesome to see somebody of such good stature, and pretty much his response to, um, the king's request. That's super powerful. So, behold, the richest man in Babylon, whispered a student, nudging his neighbor as Arkad rose. He is but man as the rest of us. At one point in our journey, we've talked about idolizing other humans. I don't idolize anyone. Um, like there's no one I look to, or there's no one I look at in such deep fascination to say, oh, wow, I wish I was them. No, I wish I was me. I'm happy I'm me. I am me, right? Like that is my greatest appreciation. And I take that perspective, or I suggest that perspective, because there are some people who have done tremendous things and are held into a very, very high extreme light. Professional athletes, celebrities, um, professional and successful businessmen and businesswomen are held to a really, really high standard. Millionaires, people with a lot of money, etc., etc. Well, the funny thing about that is The reason why I don't idolize any of them, because I am all of that if I choose to be. And so are you if you choose to be. But if you choose to be poor and you choose to be, live a life of suffering, well, that's what you're going to get. But if you choose to live your life as a celebrity, if you want to be, sometimes you can't really prevent fame from coming. But if you want to live under the radar and, make a lot of money every year, if you want to work just to be a really good person, a great humanitarian, doesn't matter what it is you choose to be. Um, at the end of the day, it's totally your choice. But that statement is strong. He is but a man, even as the rest of us. Yes, the person who's playing basketball on TV is a man, just like me. He's a little bit taller. He comes from a different place, and he achieved his dream. And now he's getting paid, reasonable salaries for what he does and what he's been able to negotiate for himself. No difference. But it's just a matter of dreaming bigger, and figuring out what that vehicle is going to be to accelerate and take us down the road of successful business and or whatever else we want to do. So thereupon they agreed that it was so. Then continued Arkad, if each of you desired to build for himself a fortune, it is not wise to start by utilizing that source of wealth which he already has established. So now we're getting into the 7 cures. This is the first cure. Start thy purse to fattening. So everything starts with a desire, a passion, a drive, a why, etc., etc. So you have to have this stem. You have to have this thing within you. And what'll happen is once you light it, it'll be a small flame. But that's why you start. Pause. It doesn't have to be a small flame. It could be a big flame. For me, it was a small flame. I started small. I said, okay, I want to really test my powers that God has given me. And I said, I'm going to achieve this goal. And guess what? I wrote it down. I studied it. I self-educated myself as much as I can, or I continue to educate myself as much as I can. So I'm constantly equipping myself with new tools. And so I achieved this goal, and I said, wow, that was powerful. I just did this. And I said, okay, I'm going to do it again. And I did it again and again. And then my dream or my fire went from being a little wick with a little, light to now pretty much, a whole building being on fire, right? Like, and it's only going to get better because the universe is always expanding. So, and my dreams are only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the more you achieve, and whatever it is that you do, whatever area you wish to achieve in, and there is really none that are better than another, right? It all starts and stems from one place. It's a desire and a belief and a faith, undying faith, that you will succeed at whatever it is you choose to set out for. Then Arkad turned to a humble man who had declared himself an egg merchant. If thou select one of thy baskets and put it into the morning, 10 eggs, and take out from it If thou select one of thy baskets and put it in each morning, 10 eggs, and take out from it each evening 9 eggs, what will eventually happen? It will become in time overflowing. Why? Because each day I put in 1 egg that then I take out. So essentially, what he's suggesting here is 10%. 10%. So for each day, you put in 10 eggs. You make $3,000 a month. The next day, you take out 10%. Or excuse me, you take out 90% and you leave 10% in the bank. And when you do this over time, you will have spent more. You will have put more money into your egg basket than you have spent. Same thing with losing weight. If you want to lose weight, the formula is ABC. You consume less calories. Pause. You burn more calories than you consume. If you If you eat a 2,000 calorie based diet in a day and you go to the gym and you burn 4,000 calories from working out, you are now at a caloric deficit. And when you're at a caloric deficit, your body is now responding, and it starts to feed off of the fat cells that you have in your body, i.e., equaling you losing weight. So it's the same thing if you are saving. It's the same thing if you're earning money or saving money. If you put in more money than you take out, then your account's gonna grow. That makes sense. So ABC formula. Most of this stuff is super simple, and it applies to different areas as you study it more. So that's the first cure. Now I will tell a strange truth, the reason for which I know not. When I ceased to pay out more than 9/10 of my earnings, I managed to get along just as well. I was not shorter than before. Also, ere long did coins come to me more easily than before. Surely it is law of the gods that unto him who keepeth and spendeth not a certain part of all his earnings shall gold come more easily. Likewise, him whose purse is empty does gold avoid. So, what he's saying there to end, even though he's saving 10% of his earnings, right? Even though he's saving 10% of his earnings, he was never in a place of deficit. He was never in a place of not having enough. And God actually blessed him with more gold because now he's understood. It's not about, I think the biggest breakthroughs, at least for me anyway, when it came to money was, first off, and my really, really good friend taught me this. I had a dollar bill, and I was sitting at a diner with him, and I had this dollar bill in my hand, and I was like, "What do you think would happen if I burned it?" And "Oh, no, 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 don't do that, don't do that." Now I'm modifying the story a little bit. He's like, "No, no, 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 don't do that." I said, "Why not?" This is years ago, like 6 years ago, and I said, "Why not?" And he goes, "My uncle always taught me, if you respect money, money will respect you." I said, "Wow." So then, therefore, I picked it up and put it back in my pocket. And every time I see a penny on the ground, every time I see a dime on the ground, every time I see a quarter, especially quarters, of course, but a penny is more common to see on the ground, I pick it up and put it in my pocket. Because why? How much does a million pennies equate to in terms of dollars, right? So I think the biggest breakthrough here is when you respect money and when you understand how to make money work for you, it starts to come for you a lot easier. But when you work from a deficit of I need money, I need money, I need money, and your purse is always empty, your money, your bag. So when I say purse, I'm not talking about handbag for everybody out there. I'm talking about it's a money bag that used to be referred to as a purse. Usually it's a small little bag, right? And back then they didn't have dollars, they had coin bags. So it was a coin purse. I have one. It's pretty cool. But Amazon 10.99. But no, but I think the biggest breakthrough when it comes to earning is starting having a desire, a mindset, mental strategy to say, I want to make X thousands of dollars per month, right? So then once you come to that declaration, you have to look at your job, you have to look at what you're doing and ask yourself the question, in this thing or wherever I am, can I earn this much? How much I'm, trying to earn. And if the answer is no, you either have to figure out a leverage play for where you are, and or make an adjustment to find something better, and or come up with your own great idea. I'll leave that to you to theatrically play out in your movie that we call life. So respect money, have a desire, respect money, and make your money work for you. And then obviously save 10%. That's the biggest. Those are like some of the biggest keys. We have 6 more that we're going to get ready to go through here in the next couple of weeks, that the book is going to introduce. And so we will continue that journey tomorrow. It's not hard to make money. It is not hard to make money. And if I told you that if you woke up for 365 days and every single day you read, you journaled, and you meditated for 15 minutes each, you'd become a millionaire, would you do it? I'll leave you guys there for today. Everybody who jumped on the messenger board this morning, good morning. Top of the morning to you. Everybody who's at home watching, good morning. Thank you for joining me and constantly showing love and support. I will see you all tomorrow at 5 a.m. Have the best day of your life today. Happy Saturday.